Yeah.
That way I'm recording the screen so I can send you a video of all this.
Right. Yeah, that's
So
a good idea.
we locked
So and
we went
this is
to
what
all,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I was going to try and get on the recording what it is we did. So we logged into your backend. We clicked an all-in-one WordPress WP migration, and then we chose export. And now we're exporting to file. Okay, what were you going to say?
So one of the things that you just pointed out, which is I think one of the problems that I have with the whole process is just that menu, as we said, with the export, import, and backups. So all of that stuff, like you said, is very counterintuitive. I would think backups. And so I guess it's not that it's wrong, because it would be a backup, but like you said, I guess this is a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's without those little, how should I say, tricks and knowledge, that's where I think that's what I have the biggest problem with in going through navigating the website. Because where you do it, say, daily, if not a few times a day, I maybe go on this thing, let's say once a month, if that, and then, I'm lucky I remember what I did before. So that's it.
Yeah. That's why we're making videos. So you've got it all for future reference.
Yeah.
So let me explain the background while we wait for it to do this, because it's going to take a minute. So, so the difference between export to and backup. So if you choose backup, what it does the exact same thing. It actually can be wrong, but it takes the file and it saves it in your hosting account. And your hosting account, you get charged partially by how much space you're using. So if you back it up to your hosting account, you're using up a bunch of storage that you may or may not have. Eventually, it'll get so full it won't let you do it anymore. So by exporting to file, what that does is it lets you download it. So it's actually on your computer. So then you can just delete it when it's not the most recent version. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we're exporting the site to our computer is what we're doing.
Okay.
And
that makes a lot of sense. There was one general question also that we can look at. I was going through my video blogs, and maybe it's a matter of a box is not checked off. So, for example, I have a particular video on perch training, and I see when I saw it in the video blog, it has it listed on the top as being in the various topics that I have, which is novice obedience, competition obedience, foundation obedience. Yet when you go to those particular tags, or like say foundation obedience, it's not there. It was only in actually one spot, which I thought was odd, because it was listed as being properly tagged, but yet when you went to view it in the video blog, it was not present.
Let me go look at that while you wait for that to finish backing up.
Sure. And because like one of the benefits of using this is that I'm, sending my students to my website for the videos as backup. And if I had and that one in particular is most relevant right now. And if I had a hard time finding it and I knew what I was looking for, they would probably give up. So I thought that was a little weird, because I don't believe that was always the case.
No, it should send them to the right place. So which one is it? You said it's the perch video, right?
Correct. Yeah, perch training.
Forward, how to fake posture front, how to use scratch boards, tactics like shoot runs. Beginning perch training?
Yes.
Dog training and foundation dog training. Okay, so that's all right. So you said which category should it be in? I see it in competition obedience, dog training, and foundation dog training. Is that right?
Correct. So if you go to competition obedience, I did not see it there.
Dog training. Foundation dog training. Obedience. November 16th. Hmm.
Did you experience the same thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Let me look and just see where it is coming up.
Yes, Sarah, you're making too much noise.
Hillary said hi.
Melissa says hello.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Sarah.
Welcome to Crazy Town.
So I do see it under foundation. Oh, it's 2018. Maybe that's why. Hold on. Condition obedience. 2019. 19. I bet I know where it is. Yep, I know why it is. Okay, I can show you that.
Okay.
So on your screen now, click on that download button. It's blinking and jumping at you. Yep, you can allow. It's safe. So that'll download in the background. You can hit close.
Okay.
And we should be okay to go ahead and run your updates. So you were going to go to the right spot before. Do you remember where you're going to go? There you go. Yep. And then let's update our plugins first. Before you hit update now, scroll down just a little bit. So where it says select all, you need to check that first. There you go. So now it knows which plugins you're telling it to update. Then you can click the update button. And it'll take a minute.
Okay. So in this, I was trying to keep up to date with, but then I found that the last time I was doing it, that this is where I ran into some of my issues as well. So, so I think your suggestion about the course and doing it at bronze is a good one, because part of my feeling, I thought a gold spot would have been maybe just too much, but this way I'll have all that real basic knowledge from the ground up, and it'll always be in my library in addition to the things we're doing now.
Yeah, it certainly can't hurt, but the course like starts with the process of like buying a domain name and buying hosting.
Yeah.
And so like the whole first week wouldn't be relevant to you.
Got it. Yes.
And then like we walk through like how to install WordPress and how to install Divi and like how to set up Divi, like just in the settings tabs. Like, so like all that stuff just wouldn't be super relevant to you.
Got it.
And what we get to like the week, I think it's week 2 would be super useful probably for you.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of other weeks that probably aren't. So it's just like probably like half the class is relevant. So I would hate for you to spend all the money on a gold spot and not really be able to, for it not to make sense for you to do a lot of the stuff, right?
No, it made total sense after you said that.
You're welcome to take it silver if you want to try and do like the 1 or 2 issue thing. But I think we're better off doing the one-on-ones because you'll get more specialized, like specific.
Exactly. Okay, so it looks like that's all done.
If you scroll off to the bottom, does it show you an option? Hold on, just scroll down. All in one, updated. All right, so right at the very bottom of that, it says return to WordPress updates page. Do you see that?
Yes.
I click that. Does the same thing as if you click the one on the top, but I like to make sure we do that piece.
Okay.
All-in-one SEO is new. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna scroll down again. Why does it want you to? Click on the continue to general settings. I'm curious why it wants you to do this.
Continue to general settings.
Towards the bottom there. You see where it says continue to general settings, the blue? Yeah.
See, so this is what I mean by why I got then frustrated, because that to me was all Greek. You may as well speaking another language. So, and then, so I would have been like, what the hell are they talking about?
No, that's reasonable, because I think it's really weird that they popped that up. That shouldn't have been there.
Mm-hmm.
This is just trying to get you to upgrade.
Probably.
No pagination. Okay, so this is fine. So just go back up to the updates at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Click on that. Let's see if it goes away now, because it should have gone away.
So it's saying that I have 2.
Yep. So the next one we want to update is your theme. So see at the bottom where you've got a select all box again?
Yes.
And select that. We're going to hit update. Mhm. And it'll take a minute again.
So here again, that's even just doing something like this. I think it's not, I don't know, not user friendly.
I don't know that you're going to find anything more user friendly when it comes to running updates, but yeah, I think that I see why the SEO thing doing that was strange. It shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Which, I mean, worst case scenario, we can change which SEO plugin we're using because Yoast wouldn't do that to you. So I'm going to talk to you for a second while we wait for this to finish. So on the video blog, if you go to the competition obedience and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a second page. So it only lists, I think, the top 10 or the top 8 or something like that posts on the first page. And then you have to go to previous posts. And the purge training just falls off the first page because now you have a lot of videos. So what we can do is I can either leave it here because if you go off this page, it'll do weird things.
Okay.
When you're running updates, you want to make sure you stay on the updates page until it's done. But I'll show you this in a second. So it's just on the second page. So I can change that so more of them show up on the front page. I don't know if I can change it so all of them always show up on the front page, but I'll look at that.
Okay.
So here, go to return to WordPress updates like we did before. Do you see that? And we've got one more. So now you're going to update WordPress. So go ahead and hit the update now button. Yeah. Yep. There's the blue button.
I did.
Oh, it didn't click on my end.
And it's not clicking on my end either.
Oh, it's working. It's working.
Okay.
At the very top where of your screen where it says Rick's Canine Workshop, and there was a little blue bar that was coming across.
Yeah.
So give it a second. It says another update is currently in progress because it clicked more than once now. Let's see if it's going to give you troubles because triple clicked. Nope. Okay, cool. Let me see something here while you do that. I'm going to look and see if I can pull up back into your site and fix that piece at least.
So is there a workaround that, or is there maybe another category that we can, like say, for example, class videos, and then I could pick and choose specific videos and then maybe, not try to limit it, but something along that line.
So yeah, there's a couple of things we can do there. All right, awesome. I'm gonna have you click on that update icon at the top of your screen again. And just see what it does to you. Okay, so it's still working.
Okay.
It's gonna take a few minutes because we clicked on it a couple of times and it's gonna be a pain in the butt about it.
Got it.
So I'm gonna have you hit the stop screen share for a few minutes because it's gonna take a few minutes on your end.
Okay.
And I'm gonna share my screen if it'll let me. Nope, it's not gonna let me do it either. It's gonna tell me it's scheduled for me to start running the update. All right, so I'm gonna show you on, well, let me show you on the front end. Rick's Canine Workshop. This is the one thing about WordPress that I don't love is that if you are running updates and it gets confused, it disables things for a few minutes so that you can't continue to click on things until it's done with what it's doing. So this is, I went to competition obedience. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So I went to competition obedience and then at the very, very bottom of the page, I clicked on, there was on this side, older entries.
Yeah.
It'll let me do that. Oops. This wasn't quite what I meant to click. That's all right.
It was weird because I think I'd seen that before. And again, for some reason on my computer, I did not see that unless I was, oh yeah, there it is. Unless I just didn't go to maybe it's because I looked too quickly.
Maybe. But what I think we can do, if it'll let me, and you don't need to do this, but, because it's an archives page. If I can change those settings somewhere. Let me see really quick. And you wouldn't need to do this piece, but I just want to see if there's a way for me to change how many posts show up on that page. Instagram number of posts displayed on archive pages. That will increase it at least.
Mm-hmm.
So now you'll see more of them when you go to those pages because we use the archive pages. So now if I go to competition obedience, it should be on the first page. It should just be a really long page. Because so if you look at them, they're in date order.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The Perch one is from November 16th, 2018. So you can see we're getting to 2018 November, 2018 November, 2018 November. So now it'll at least be on that first page.
Got it.
We can absolutely create a new category if you want to have like toggle it for a specific class, and the pros and cons of that. So you can decide which ones are going to be on that page each week if you wanted to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just by toggling them on or off. The downside to that, though, is that students so if you have like the Perch video, and let's say you have a fronts video, and let's say you have a healing video for week 1, right? And then you go in and you turn those off and you turn 3 new ones on. The students may not know how to find the videos from week 1.
Got it.
So when you tell students to go to the videos, are you telling them just to go to your website and click on competition obedience?
Yes.
Let me think about this. What's the best way to get them where you actually want them to go? Because you're just verbally telling them that during class, right?
Correct. Or maybe that's what I was thinking, that I should go through, maybe this may help you, I should go through the video blogs and maybe recategorize them and make sure they're more concise rather than kind of like what I did, I think in the beginning, is I put the same video almost on every topic, which now as I'm building the number of videos, that may or may not be relevant anymore. So maybe I just want to go in and tag particular ones as competition obedience, and therefore the students, I could tell them go there, and if it's listing 20 of the top of the videos, I mean, I don't think I'm going to have probably more than that, with the way I produce them, but maybe that would be a way to do it.
We could certainly, that would certainly be a solution that would probably work. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we can do that makes it even easier for the students. So when you teach, do you usually always want the same videos in week 1, always the same videos in week 2, always the same video? Like, are you repeating the same curriculum every 6 weeks?
It's a good question. Yes, because I do have new students who are entering in an existing class. So I have one particular class that I call Bridging the Gap, which is basically kind of like before they're ready for like serious competition work. And they're working on a lot of these basic behaviors, just as the Perch platform, fronts, things like that. And they may be at different points in the training. So I would have, like, say, 3 students who did last session, and then say the new session comes up and I get another 3 new students. So I would want them to have access to the information the students in the previous class had.
So you've got your Bridging the Gap class, and then you've got your classes. Let me just click on your Train with Rick and see what you've got listed.
Yes, novice, open, and utility. That's another idea too. We could even make it more specific.
We could. What I was going to actually say is I could add a page here that just says, like, under video blog, it says class videos.
Yes.
And then on that page, have there be buttons that say for Bridging the Gap, for novice, for open, and for utility. And on the back end, you would just tag them which class you wanted to be able to see that video.
I think that would be great because, I'd like to make more like a utility video, which is obviously somebody in Bridging the Gap is not ready to see yet, and it's not relevant for them.
So let's go that approach.
That's a great idea.
Before we do that, though, let's walk through the stuff that you specifically wanted to get done today, because I want to make sure we do that.
Yeah.
So on your end, I need to stop sharing probably so you can see it. Do you see your Safari again?
I'd have to probably go back into share.
Yeah, you can do that. Go for it.
And then, let's see, Safari.
Is it not?
Yeah, now I don't see Safari.
Okay. Since you're on a Mac, if you look at the very bottom of your screen, do you see your normal menu bar?
Yes.
Safari down there, does it come up?
So now it's happening briefly unavailable, and I don't see you anymore.
Okay. So I'm going to have you refresh that link. Do you know how to do that?
So up at the top, there's that circle with the arrow. There. So now I'm saying WordPress updates, reinstall now, hide update.
Perfect. Just, now I'm going to have you go back down to your menu bar at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
There should be a zoom icon. So it looks like a blue square with a white video camera in it.
Yeah.
On that. And now I'm going to have you click on share. There we go. So now I'm seeing your iCloud messages. So I'm going to click on Safari again. There we go. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So first things first, text updates, how we do that. It looks like you're good on posting new video blogs, right? Because I know that was what we talked about last time, was that you're having trouble with that. Is that going okay now?
Correct. I'm good.
So for the text updates, we're going to go to the front end of your website. This is the back end, right? It's the thing that other people don't see unless they're logged in. We're going to go to the front end. So the easiest way to do that is at the top left corner of your screen says Rick's Canine Workshop. You can click on that or click on Visit Site. Either one should do it. They should both take you to the same place. All right. Now, what page do we want to edit?
So say training services. So I think, where did that come? Train with Rick, I guess. Yes.
All right. So you want to edit one of these? Is that what you're thinking?
So yes. So for example, let's say on the Thursday through Saturday, I wanted to add, like, say, a Saturday workshop.
Okay. So do you see at the top of your screen the little purple circle with the D in it?
Yes.
It's enabled Visual Builder. We're going to start with that button. All right, it's going to take a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so maybe scroll down. Oh, it's going to double load on you. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so scroll down. Okay, so you should have two options for editing that text. The first one is if you bring your mouse over to where it says Private Lessons.
Yeah.
You should just be able to click on that as long as you have that little cursor icon. So scroll down a little bit. So you get the little cursor icon. If you click when you have the cursor icon, it should just let you edit the text. So click on. There you go. And you should just be able to type. So you can delete stuff or write stuff or whatever you want to do.
Got it. Okay. So I see what you're saying. So I could say this private lesson available, and then in addition, say new recall. Got it. Got it. And then starting, let's say January 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And then, okay. So then that's easy. And then on the schedule.
Before you're gone, I'm going to show you one other way to do that, because sometimes it won't give you that cursor icon. It's being really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to pretend like we're going to edit Wednesday, and we'll undo this. So go over where the Wednesday thing is. So let's say it wasn't giving you that cursor icon. It was being really annoying, because sometimes it does that. In that gray bar, there is a little gear icon. Do you see the little gear?
Yes.
If you hover over it, it says module settings. That's what we want to click on. And then if you go in this little pop-up window, do you see where it says the text down there?
Yeah.
So scroll down a little bit more to where it says classes held at Port Chester Obedience Training Club. You could click in there and type 2. And the nice thing about this option is it gives you, scroll up just a smidge. There you go. So do you see where it says like bold and italic and bolded list and all those options?
Yes.
Those the same way they would in like Microsoft Word or Google Docs or any of those programs. So if you were to highlight some of your text, you could make it bold, you could make it italic, you could do whatever you need to do from a styling perspective.
Okay. Very good.
So, yeah, so if you want to click like where it says novice, let's pretend we're going to add a class after novice that you want to work really, really late.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and click your mouse.
Actually.
And you'll see that little blinking cursor come in, so you can hit enter to add a new line.
Actually, I just realized these are not relevant. So 6 o'clock is bridging the gap. So I could just...
yeah, let's edit it.
This is utility. And then if I want to add something, this is actually utility.
There you go. And yeah, I was going to say, just add in your space and your hyphen.
Yes. Saw that. Okay. I think okay, good. And actually, this is going to, so this is perfect. Yes, good.
Okay, so that all looks the way you want it to look now?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you need a space before your hyphen for your utility class.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, so now it wants to know that this is definitely the change you want to make. So you want to tell it yes. So to do that, you're going to check on that green box with the check mark in it. Do you see that? A little lower. A little lower. That's your computer giving you that.
I see. Okay.
So now we said, okay, that's the change I want to make in that section. Is there anything else here that needs to be updated?
I could, yes, this is already, and it didn't update because we didn't hit update into whole page yet. Is that correct?
It hasn't gone live yet on for somebody else. It did update under Wednesday, which is what you were editing. So feel free to edit these. Go ahead, get them updated so they're correct.
Okay, and I'll change that already started. Okay, well, we can just do that for the heck of it. Oops. Okay, let's see. I see it here. Yeah, Wednesday. And this is already current. Okay, and I'll just get rid of this because I'm not gonna. I just wanted to know that's not really true yet, but I'm just curious. So.
There you go. You had highlighted a little bit more than just the text originally. That's why it didn't delete the first time you hit it.
Got it.
All right. So now when we're ready to make this go live for everybody else to see, you see that purple circle in the bottom center with the 3 dots?
Yeah.
And then you'll hit the save button in the bottom right corner. And that makes it live so everybody else can see it, but you're still in the edit screen. So to exit the edit screen, at the very top of your screen, there's an exit visual builder button. Very top.
Yeah.
And now you'll see what everybody else sees. So scroll down and make sure it looks the way you want it to look. Everything look good?
Yep.
Awesome.
Perfect. Because like this Wednesday, I will be changing this in another few weeks because I'm adding actually another class at 12 o'clock. And this class is going to change names. So, okay. So this is perfect. Good.
Awesome.
I like this way. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that should be the same thing that's in your documentation video, but I'll add this video anyway because maybe I said something differently and it made more sense that way.
Yeah. I think no, actually, you're correct. This is what you had said in the tutorial. I think where I really get snagged is some of the things that we went through together with the updates, and it was asking me a lot of questions that really didn't, like I said, I didn't know. And then rather than hit yes or enable, I didn't do anything because I really, I didn't know. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we've got that piece done. What else did you said you're going to be running some workshops. You feel like you can add those now? You know how that works?
Yes. So the about, and then really, so then if I wanted to go, this would actually be a great exercise because the about page, I want to go and change some things like update Tom and Disco's information about where they are. So actually now.
So let's see if without my help, you can figure out how to do that.
Okay.
You don't want to hit edit page though.
Okay. See, this is where, okay.
So we want to start by just going to the page we want to edit. So you don't have to worry about that piece at all.
Got it.
Yep. There you go.
See that? So I'm glad that's why we're going through this. This is a great exercise, even though we just went through it, for me to try. Because you see, I was going right to that. To me, made sense. But okay. So
the edit page button is going to bring you back to the back end of the website where you can't see what you're working on. So it's not useful for you. You want to enable things. You want to work on it on the front end, which is the visual side, right? So when you're making edits, you want the visual builder, which is the piece that lets you see what you're doing.
Right.
So yeah, if you click on edit page, it won't break anything. You'll just look at a screen and you'll be like, well, this doesn't look right.
And that's exactly right. Yes. Okay. So now here, if I wanted to, got it.
Well, you do that, I'm going to build you a new page.
I'm sorry?
I said, I'm going to sit here and watch you, but I'm also going to do the fix that we talked about for your classes stuff while you're
Great.
Okay. So what do you think you do next to be able to edit that text?
So enable Visual Builder.
Yes, that is correct.
And then now I have the two choices on how to do that.
Yep, that's it. Excellent.
Okay. So now I go here, I hit save.
There you go. Look at you remembering all those steps.
Okay, so this was very good, though, that we went through this, because I did update it currently of what I want, but I'll go into more in depth once, we're not on this call, and I'll think of some other things I wanted to say. But now at least I have it. The immediate changes that I wanted to do are at least there, and it was a good exercise.
Yeah, so now I want you to remember how to exit the visual editor. Did you remember how to get out of it now that you're still on the edit screen? There you go. Yeah. You always want to make sure you do that at the end, because otherwise there is the potential that you'll accidentally delete something, or because if you don't realize that it's still going.
Yes.
You've exited the visual builder so you don't accidentally drag stuff around or move something when you're trying to click on it.
So the last time with my video blogs, is that what I perhaps did?
Potentially.
Yeah.
It's possible that you clicked on something or you moved something around, or who knows.
And then you were able to find it in the restore, which I could not do.
So there are a couple of, you could have done it. I'd have to show you how. We can go over that if you want.
Maybe a later date, yes. Yep. Maybe our next one, yeah.
I'm not really sure entirely what you did that deleted the section. My guess is, so the way Divi works, I'm gonna share my screen for a minute if that's okay. If you want to hit stop sharing, I'll show you, because it'll be faster than telling you what to click on to see this stuff when you don't actually have to do this.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So hit stop sharing. There you go, and I'm gonna share mine. You see my screen?
Yes.
So I'm working on building your class training videos page. Do you want one for Heal to Success and Beginner Novice too, while I'm creating them? Like, should we just do one for each of the classes? Like, I'm thinking there'll be little buttons here that they can click on to say which class they're in, and it'll take them to the right videos for them.
A lot of the videos are, I think that would actually be a good idea. It would be super simple for them.
Yeah. Okay, so I will do that. I'm not going to do it right this second, because that way I can show you what I need to show you. So this brings us to what is called a wireframe view, which isn't important for you to know. But this is really how Divi works. Divi is boxes inside boxes. That's what div means in the coding world. Is it's like, okay, let's put it in a box, let's put it in a box, let's put it in a box. So Divi has what's called sections, and a section is a huge chunk. Mm-hmm. And within that section, there can be rows. Rows are the content that displays horizontally across, right? Mm-hmm. In a row, there can be columns. So if we look at this one, right, this row has 4 columns. Right. And columns have what's called a blurb or a module. And these modules then are what have the content that you're used to seeing. So on the back end, if you accidentally, on this end, clicked and dragged the blue box, see how that all disappears now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or clicked and dragged the green box, my guess is that that's what you did. Somehow you clicked on one of the options here that deleted either a row or a section.
Yes, because I did get that screen with Divi, and I was just like, what is this? Because after seeing you explain it, because you knew exactly what you were looking at, then, of course, it was all relevant. But to me, it was just these horizontal boxes with these. It was crazy. So.
And if you go to edit page, that's what it shows you.
Yeah.
So I go save draft, and I go to, because I don't want to lose what I started here. And then I hit edit page. It defaults to that wireframe view.
Yes.
So if you end up here.
That's what I did.
That's okay. It's not the end of the world. It means you can do one of two things. You can either decide, I'm just in the wrong place. I clicked on the wrong button. I'm just going to hit back and click on the right button. Or there's this build on front end. Mm-hmm. That will also do it.
And I think I hit the other one, build on standard editor, because to me, again, that made, more sense.
And I don't think I can disable the standard editor button, unfortunately.
No, but this, I'm glad we're going through this, because this is exactly where I made my error. I was actually in the wrong place. With edit page was not the correct way to do it.
If you go to standard editor, it turns it into the same type of editor you use for your blog posts. Because that is the default WordPress editor. And what we did to build your site is we installed a different theme that comes with a fancy editor so that you can edit things in the front end.
Okay.
That is not a WordPress feature. That's a Divi feature. So like the way that you're actually editing text and stuff, that is not something, like if you were to go to somebody else's WordPress site, that would not work. It would look nothing like that. But for your site, it does because of what we've installed.
Got it.
Okay. So my guess is if you came in here and then you hit return to standard editor, then it would have done something funky. But what I did to fix it was I came into the page. Down here it says revisions.
Yeah.
I clicked on browse. I dragged the little timer back to the previous revision and hit restore this version.
Like I said, takes a second when you know what you're doing.
So I mean that's what I had. And worst case scenario, I have a saved backup of when we first launched the website. So I could restore it all the way back to the very first launch.
Right.
But what I want to show you in our last couple of minutes here is because we downloaded that backup, right? We exported your website to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
If you broke something, you could fix it in about 5 minutes. So all you have to do is come here, and you exported before, so this time you would import from file, find the file on your computer, and then it would give you an option to import. And why do you have maximum? No, you have the unlimited installed. But because otherwise I wouldn't be able to launch your website. But so you would just go file and you'd import it, and what that would do is it would literally bring the website back to the exact moment when you hit that export button.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you were to break something, you can always bring it back to right before you ran updates and right before you made some changes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so critical to make sure that you are exporting your backups, because it gives you, like, I mean, if you'd actually deleted the page, like the whole page, I wouldn't have been able to bring that back, right? It still existed. You just deleted some of the content. So I could then go in and just restore it. But if the page no longer existed, it no longer existed. So then we would have had to go in and import from
Well, that's when I realized that at least I was somewhat in good shape, because the whole page was not deleted. It was just a matter of the contents, some of those boxes. So already this was extremely helpful in just some of the things we did. And then I can start to play around and practice. And then on our next meeting, whatever questions I have, and what I'll do is I'd also like to change and update some of the pictures, because Tom is bigger now. And just like I always wanted to get some more pictures of me actually training the dogs, rather than, like, say, generic. But and that's what I'd like to then work on for the future. And then maybe get a few pictures, and then we'll go over how to put them in.
Yeah, that would be good. So let me, are you going to sign up for the class at Bronze? Is that what you're going to?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
Let me look at the class lectures for a second, and I'll tell you which ones I think you should try and do.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll make your life a little easier than you trying to figure that out. So they won't be published yet when you buy it today, because they haven't happened yet, right? You're going to want to read lectures 1.9 and 1.10, because that gets you started on the images things. And if you work through those two lectures, then we'll be in a really good place to work on the picture stuff.
Okay. And one meaning week one?
Here, I'll show you.
Exactly.
So all of my lectures in my WordPress class are labeled so that you'll get to see what they look like from instructor side. But these are the unpublished lectures.
Yes.
So all of my lectures are numbered and then named.
Got it.
So they show up in the right order. Because I mean, there's a lot of lectures in this class. So you want photos for your website and working with images. Are the
Got
two.
it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And those will both go up week 1. So those will both be towards the end of week 1.
Great.
And then you'll want, let's see. It won't hurt you to read more than this, but the ones that you specifically want to work on.
Like even the parts of Divi.
Yeah, that'll be probably pretty useful for you if you want.
Yes.
Probably want to look at 2.3 and 2.4. Although these numbers are going to change because I'm going to bump parts of a website into the first week.
Okay.
But you want to look at the parts of Divi, and the journey of a page. I'm playing with my stress ball thing. Sorry. It really looks funny because it's like a random hamburger moving across the screen. But all right, and then this won't happen till week 2. So if you can give it a try, go for it. But if you want to try the Divi Builder Assignment 2, Divi Builder Assignment 3, you could work on those because I think that if you give those a try and they go well, you'll feel much more confident with working with Divi overall.
Yeah.
And if not, we can work on them together.
Right. Yeah.
But if you want to give the Divi Builder assignments a go, that'll help a little bit. But you can skip like planning out your homepage, right? That's not going to be relevant to you. You have a homepage. I built it for you.
Right.
The fonts and typography stuff, I've already set that up for your site, so you don't have to worry about that. You could read through the margins and padding. It's an info lecture. It's not an assignment lecture. But yeah, those are the big ones, I think.
Got it.
Those by our next call, we'll be in pretty good shape.
Yes. So this is really good, and I think by the time with the 3 of them, that now that we did this, because this was already a big help and a big, like I said, I think for me the biggest thing is when, not to be repetitive, but when we get into a situation like what we saw in the beginning, and then I'm kind of like, what are they talking about? I freeze. Because then I say, okay, and then I don't do anything. And that's where I get kind of stuck. So I guess like as originally planned, if we could continue to do this to some degree, it's great, and maybe it doesn't need to happen every month, but, and hopefully I'll get better at it. But I think those are the big things,
Okay. Well, let's plan on doing the 3, 1 a month for 3 months and see where you're at the end of that. And if you want to plan on doing more after that, we can absolutely do more after that. But I feel like with 3, you should be pretty comfortable by that 3rd one, especially if you're through the website class.
Yes.
So my guess is that for the next our next call, we'll work on the images bit. And if you've gone through the lectures, you have the images like mostly ready to go. That'll take us like 15-20 minutes, and then we can like look at the Divi Builder assignments if you've worked on those, and I can help you wherever you get stuck.
Yeah. And I'll make some more video blogs, and I'll just make sure that everything's going smoothly with that, and I'll look at what you are going to build, and then that might be something.
I will get that set up for you. So one other question for you, and then I'll let you go because it's 11. What is the easiest way in terms of invoicing and billing stuff for you? Because I know you said last time like you didn't get the email. So I want to make sure that stuff is all working and happening. I mean, PayPal works for me if that works for you. If it doesn't work for you, checks are fine.
No, that was totally fine. It was very weird that I just didn't receive it because I went back and I looked Because I'm pretty, like I said, I'm good about that. And if I knew I owed you something, so I was like on the alert looking something along those lines. So no, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I could do Venmo, I could do PayPal, whatever is easiest.
Okay. Then it should just have a PayPal button in the lecture or in the invoice that you can click on. Like it should just work. It should be really smooth.
Yes, exactly.
So if that works, I'll just plan on doing that. It'll probably take me half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to do that, set up the student page for you. Is that okay?
No problem. Sure.
All right. Then I'll do that first. I don't know that I'll get it finished today. I was hoping to work on a little bit while we were chit-chatting, but it may be like early next week by the time I get that done. But I will shoot you the invoice and shoot you an email letting you know all that stuff is done once it's done.
Great. Okay. Wonderful.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All righty. Bye.